Hey, welcome back to another episode of Simple Truth Television. Today is May 7th, 2022. So, today, the Boston Celtics lost their second game to the Milwaukee Bucks. And this was a riddle that we nailed on Patreon. Now, at first, I was like, are they really going to do this 42-30 ritual with Giannis? And not only did they do the 42 and 30 ritual, but they mocked us even further by having the guy score 42 points on 30 field goal attempts. So I'm like, oh my God. How are people not waking up to this shit, man? But these are the notes that I wrote today on Patreon. I said, we elected the Bucks to win, money line, because Giannis Antetokounmpo, he had the opportunity to improve to 42 and 30 in the postseason. He came into this game 41 and 30. And of course, those numbers get used together again and again and again and again and again and again against black people because the N word, the words like slavery, they all equal 42 and 30. Names like Martin, Malcolm X, all 42 and 30. I mean, that is an ongoing pattern. One of the reasons last year we nailed. Last year was a 7. I think it was either last year or the year before. The Lakers. It was a 72 game NBA season. I'm not sure if it was the coronavirus year or the year after. But that year we also called the Lakers finishing 42 and 30 for the season. Because in Gematria, Lakers is 42 and 30. And again, that number is connected to the N-word, to slavery, names like Martin, Malcolm X, they all equal 42 and 30. Names like Lebron James equals 42. He was born on the day with 42 numerology on the 30th day of the month. The name LeBron is 30. So we've seen this pattern over and over and over again. I was a little nervous. I'm like, are they really going to do that? Are they going to make Giannis 42 and 30 in the postseason? They did. But not only that, the guy scored 42 points, right? He had 30 field goal attempts. And if you saw the game, Al Horford, who wears the number 42 for the Celtics, he missed the layup to tie the game at the end. Number 42. So number 42 misses. Giannis scores 42 points and picks up his 42nd postseason win. Shaming people by the numbers. This stuff has been going on for years. One of the reasons why people like Jackie Robinson, the first black baseball player, wore number 42. The name Jackie's 42. I mean, if I start, I think, all right, you know what I'm going to do? Let's try to cover as many 42 and 30 rituals in the past, right? So like I said, the Lakers a couple of years ago, they finished 42 and 30 for the season. The name of the team, Lakers, is 42 and 30. A year before that, if you guys remember the legendary fight, the Tyson Fury fight versus Deontay Wilder, this fight, Deontay Wilder came into this fight 42 and 0. He had 42 wins, no losses, right? And he picked up his first loss that fight and stayed on 42 losses. And then his opponent, Tyson Fury, he became 30 and 0. So one fighter stays on 42 wins, the other one picks up his 30th. And notice the name Dante is 30. The name Tyson is 42. All right, so Tyson keeps Dante on 42 wins, and Dante gives Tyson his 30th win. And this fight was connected to Mike Tyson, who was born on June 30th, the 181st day of the year, the 42nd prime number. We just saw how Tyson is 42. And it's had everything to do with the iconic fight between Tyson and Buster Douglas. Buster Douglas, this was a huge upset in the boxing world. Buster Douglas was a 42 to 1 odds, and he defeated Mike Tyson on February 11th on the date written 11/2, like 112. Mike Tyson is 112. But this was a huge upset, and he was 42 to 1 odds, and he beat the guy named Tyson. And keep in mind that Mike Tyson was born that day with 102 numerology. Those numbers that connect to the N word, right? So the name Tyson is 42, born on the day with 102 numerology. They use these numbers over and over again. 42 and 30, 42 and 30. And look, let me just show you. I think I did a slide. There it is. All these names, not only do they equal 42, but they also equal 30, right? Malcolm X, Martin, slavery, nigger, right? Even the term Tuskegee, which connects to black people as well. Let's see, it's spelled this way. Tuskegee. Look up what the Tuskegee Project is. And notice the Gematria, 42 and 30. What else? There's been so many. LeBron James is a great example, right? He's born on the 30th day of the month, on the day with 42 numerology. The name LeBron is 30. LeBron James is 42. If you look up what is LeBron James, his biggest loss of his career, it came against the Pacers by 42 points. Biggest loss of his career. Let's see if it comes up. So, here it is. February 5th, and he did it, it happened during Black History Month, and February is 42. But it says here that LeBron James's worst loss of his career, Lakers 42-point loss to Pacers, worst of LeBron James's career. So the biggest loss of his career came against the Pacers, and he lost by 42 points. Right, 42 points. Keep in mind that, Russell Westbrook, his teammate, he set the all-time triple-double record in a single season by having how many triple-doubles? Yeah, 42 triple-doubles, you guys. 42. That is the record. 42 triple-doubles is the NBA record. Actually, this is YouTube. We don't want to go to YouTube. We get a copyright strike. So here it is. Bleacher Reports. Russell Westbrook sets NBA record with 42nd triple-double. 42 triple-doubles in a single season. Unbelievable. And keep in mind that he surpassed Oscar Robertson, who had the record with 181 all-time triple-doubles. And 181 is what? The 42nd prime? And like we said yesterday when I was talking about Kevin Samuels, 42, the reason they use that number so much is because it's a biblical number. It connects to Jesus Christ. If you look up how many generations from Abraham to Jesus, it was 42 generations. They also like to use the number 14 because if you read into the Bible, there was 3 groups, right? So from Jesus to Abraham, there was 3 groups. Each group had 14 generations, and 14 times 3, it equals 42. But, you can just do a Google search, 14 generations to Jesus Christ. And you'll learn all about the number 42 because it connects to black people. Because in the Bible, Jesus is portrayed as a black man. I keep saying this. This is why they use this number. It's more than just the N-word equaling 42. I mean, they made the N-word equal 42 for this reason. The total of 42 generations achieved only by omitting several names. Okay, this is not exactly what I was looking for. Let me see if I can find it. And if you read the passage Matthew, they only mention 41 generations, and I think that's probably another reason why they killed Kobe Bryant at 41 in his 42nd year of life. Maybe this one does explain. Yeah, so it says here that the 42 generations come from the genealogy of Christ as recorded in Matthew chapter 1. It goes from Abraham to Jesus Christ and has 42 generations by the record of Scripture itself. You see, look at this paragraph here. However, notice that the verse does not specifically state there are 42 generations. It says, rather, that there are 3 groups of 14 generations. This is important because when someone counts through these generations, only 41 can be found in a straight count. But notice the wording of Matthew 1/17. David is included in both the first list of 14 names and the second list of 14 names. He is the 14th generation from Abraham, but he is the beginning of another set of 14. That is why the straight count only gives 41 names. See, but there's really 42 generations, right? And like the passage said, right, there's three groups. So yesterday we was talking about Kevin Samuels having 1.4 million subscribers and his name equaling the same thing as Jesus Christ. 14 and 42, they come together through the passage in Matthew, right? And his name equals Jesus Christ. It's 151, 74, and whatever the other value of Jesus Christ is. Kevin Samuels equals Jesus Christ. He died with 1.4 million subscribers, a biblical number. Not only does the word dead equals 14, but the word slave does too. And that's what they've been doing to black people, keeping us as slaves to their agenda. And you notice, they also, if you read more into this passage, they talk about the number 30 in there too. All these numbers are from the Bible. We must understand that though this genealogy is a true record, it is written to be instructive. Therefore, the facts are presented in such a way as to teach that what God desires to teach. This is true in any presentation of truth. Why then the 42 generations? I believe it has to do with numerology. Quite often in scriptures, numbers are teaching us something, and their study can bring much profit. 42 is 6 times 7. 6 is the number of a man, and 7 is the number of completion or perfection. Matthew begins his genealogy with Abraham, who received the promise and a covenant from God. It counts 42 generations, 7 times 6. Think about how words like slave is 76. That's another number they use to shame black people, right? This is where they get all these numbers from. And it comes to the perfect 7 equal man, and 6 is Jesus Christ. Negro is 76. Slave is 76. Rasta is 76. Right. So Negro, slave is 76. Rasta 76. 7 times 6 is 42, right? What else? Slave, Rasta, blues 76. It's also 14, right? But yeah, so Giannis, he gets that 42-30 treatment. And this is how you can make money in sports betting. If you understand what they're doing. Because these games are rigged, and they are shaming these black men by the numbers. You understand the meaning of these numbers, you're going to make some money. Like we did on Patreon today. And, this was a great game because the Bucks were only a 1-point favorite at home. And they had the chance to make Giannis 42 and 30. How can you fade that, And this is what I want you guys to understand, that, what we do on Patreon, it's more than just picking a team to win. Because anybody could do that, right? There's only 2 teams, and one of them is going to win. But what we are showing you is the ritual. And that's what nobody else can do in the world. No handicapper can show you the ritual. They can tell you, oh, yeah, I like the Bucks to win today. I like, their defense and blah, blah, blah. But are they going to tell you why Giannis is going to become 42 and 30? And look, Tuskegee, I think we spoke about that. That's another 42 and 30 word. And look at the mockery, right? So this fight with Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder. Tyson Fury, the white boxer, he had a Nigeria mouthpiece on. Like, nigger. Just more ritual shaming stuff, Yeah, this is a T-shirt that I designed. A lot of people didn't like it because they said that they might be they didn't want to wear the N-word on their back. I get it. That's why I never released it. But I did make this version of a shirt for myself. I'm not afraid to wear it because if people ask me why you got the word nigger on the back of your shirt, I'll tell them why, and I'll educate them. I mean, that's an opportunity for you to teach. But a lot of people message me and say that they don't feel safe wearing that shirt. So that's why I never put it out there. But this was one of the ideas that I had back in the day, like when I first started doing the work. Because I wanted to teach about 42 because they use this number all the time, man. All the time. Yeah, but LeBron just got an award for the worst actor in Space Jam. I think it was the 42nd. It was the same day as the day before the Oscars. I forgot let's see what's the name of those awards. Worst actor award. Oh yeah, I think it's called the Golden Raspberry Award. Yeah, but they gave it to LeBron James, right? So look at this. It says that LeBron James he wins Razzie Award for Worst Actor for Space Jam sequel, and this took place at the 42nd Razzies Award. Actually, let me look it up. 42nd Razzies Award. Yeah, so I guess you can see it here. So this took place on March 25th, 2022. And this was the 42nd Golden Raspberry Award. And LeBron James, he won the Worst Actor Award at the 42nd Golden Raspberry Award. He won the Worst Actor for Space Jam. And to keep in mind that LeBron is not the worst actor. LeBron is one of the greatest actors of all time. Because look what he has been able to do on the basketball court, fooling you guys day after day after day, making you think that he's this unbelievable basketball player. So a lot of you who criticize his acting skills, you guys are asleep. This is one of the greatest actors of all time, LeBron James. Believe it or not, probably better than Denzel Washington. You know, because he made you guys believe that he really won the championship for Cleveland on the real King James' birthday. He made you believe that game was a real competition. That him by himself, pretty much, were able to come back down 3-1 to the Golden State Warriors on the road. He made you guys believe that. So, this LeBron is not the worst actor. He's one of the greatest actors. He should get an Oscar, really. What a mockery giving LeBron James the worst actor, one of the greatest actors. What a mockery. Yeah, so I mean, there's a lot of 42 rituals. I mean, we could talk about Jackie Robinson. I think. Oh, let's talk about what's this guy named that died on Jackie Robinson Day? Chadwick Boseman. Chadwick Boseman, another 42 ritual. He was 42 the day he died, and then a few days after he turned 43 out of nowhere. But Chadwick Boseman, he played Jackie Robinson in the film 42. Right? He played Jackie Robinson in the film 42. Keep in mind the name Jackie is 42. He wore number 42 as a player. The name of the movie is called 42. When he died, he was 42 years old. Right? And he died on Jackie Robinson Day. Because Jackie Robinson Day that year was moved to August 20. Wait, did the movie come out on April 2nd? Oh no, April 12th. I was going to say. Yeah, Jackie Robinson Day that year was moved to August 28th, the day that he died. Because that was the year of the coronavirus pandemic, the outbreak, when it first started. Because Jackie Robinson Day is usually around April or May. It's usually around that time. But that year, they moved it to August 28th, and then the guy who plays Jackie Robinson Day dies on that day. And he was 42 years old. I mean, just think about it. 42, played in the movie 42, and then dies on Jackie Robinson Day. I mean, it's just, this is what they do all the time. It's just like, people don't see this shit, man. Let's see if I can look up his, because I did a screenshot the day he died to show people that he was really 42, even though the headlines kept saying that he was 43. I'm like, how is he 43 if he was born in 77 and he died in 2020? But see, look what it says here. He was 42 years old. I took this screenshot. The actor was born on November 29th, 1977. But then when he died, it said that he was born in the year 76. And again, 76 is 42, right? 7 times 6. Yeah, but from November 29th, 1977 to his death date on August 28th, 2020, it was only 42 years. And I found that strange. But we know why they said 43, because I think it would have made it a little bit too obvious for the guy who was in the movie 42 and died on Jackie Robinson Day at the age of 42. I think that was a little too obvious. Even the dumbest of the dumbest can probably, notice something about that. And you know what's funny? On the actual Jackie Robinson Day, on April 15th, he put out this post on Instagram. It says Operation 42. And that's what he ended up being, Operation 42. Letting people know. That's what Giannis was today, Operation 42. And then he wrote, I am hearing stories of desperation from people all over the country, and we know our communities are suffering the most and urgently need help. Celebrating Jackie Robinson Day with the launch of Thomas Tools Operation 42, a donation of $4.2 million in personal protective equipment to hospitals that service the African American communities who have been hit by the hardest by the COVID-19 pandemic. Thank you, Jackie, 42 name, for refusing to accept the world as it is. Really? Jackie Robinson refused to accept the world as what it is? Really? Even though he put on that jersey with the number 42 on his back? Really? And for showing us that we can make a difference. Really. Just like you did, right? Putting on that stupid hat. Man, these fucking people, man. These people are really like, they don't have no dignity at all. They don't have no dignity, yo. You putting on a hat with 42 and you end up dying at 42 on Jackie Robinson Day. What a fool you are, brother. And look what Operation 42 equals. 56, like Society of Jesus, like coronavirus. And he ended up dying on the day with 56 in neurology. Perfect. Also, I wanted to make a separate video for this, but, today, this football player passed away. His name is Devontae Lapkin. He died at the age of 25. And look at his jersey number, you guys. He was 25, and he wore the number 97 for the Tennessee Titans. And in Gematria, his first name, Devonta, not only does it equal 97, but it also equals 25, like his age of death. So Devonta wore the number 97, died at 25. And look at Death. Death is 97 and 25. His name also has that 38 like Death. And what makes it even more sickening is that he was born on January 7th. He died on May 5th, 118 days after his birthday. And in the Jewish cipher, Death is 118. They're saying that he got shot and he died from his injuries. Devonta Lapkin, a former defensive lineman for the Oklahoma Sooners, was found dead Thursday after he was shot. Dallas police said they found Lapkin, 25, lying on his back with a single gunshot wound at a rented residence, having been called there after receiving a report that he had been stopped at answering. Having been called there after receiving a report that he had stopped answering his phone. Police said medical personnel arrived on the scene shortly thereafter to try to save Lapkin, but he died at the scene. Per reports, Lapkin's backpack, cell phone, and wallets were missing. So, not only did they kill him, they also robbed him. They robbed him out of his life as well. 25 years old, very young guy. But the people behind this stuff, I know who it is. It's the 56 crew. Because notice his name, look in Gematria, his name is equals the guilty party. And then they announced his death on 5/6 as well, yesterday. Right, 5/6. So they shame black people and they also murder them by the numbers. I don't know why anybody wants to become an athlete. 42 points, picks up his 42nd career postseason win. And thanks to Al Horford, number 42, for missing that layup and giving the Bucks their second win in the series. Congratulations to Giannis. He is now 42-30 in the postseason. Unbelievable. You know, I'll end it there because if I could go on for years talking about 42-30. I mean, you guys get the point, though, right? Enjoy the rest of your weekend, everybody. Thank you for tuning in.